Alright, this is Sam. He has only played golf once in his life and he has never had a formal lesson. So we're just going to go ahead and look at some videos first and then I'm going to talk about what I saw. Alright, so first from the face-on view I wanted to look at where his weight was throughout the swing. So set up pretty much centered over the ball. As he takes it back you can see his weight shift a little bit off the ball, outside of the box. On the way down, he does a very good thing, shifting his weight back forward towards the ball. Great position there. Same at impact, body weight actually forward of the box. And then finally in the follow through, obviously see in the video that his foot slipped a little bit, so he does have a little bit unbalanced finish. Down the line, pretty straight legs at setup. As he takes it back, hands and club clearly above the plane line. On the way back down, gets very well back on plane. Same at impact. And at finish, very flat-footed, hips not as rotated as what we'd want, but overall not too bad. After a few posture and stance adjustments that you see here, I had him hitting small shots, taking it back from his right toe and finishing just in front of his left toe. Because he was fairly new at golf, I did this to help him feel the interaction between the ball and the club and the ground at impact. After he started to get the hang of it, I made a small adjustment to slide his hips forward at address to get about 60% of his weight on his front foot. Next we started building a little bit longer of a swing.
And then that's your next position right there. Okay. So then from here, your right hip. Feel like that's opening up. There we go. So this leg's gonna straighten. This leg's gonna bend a little bit. Right. So
this leg's gonna bend. This one's gonna straighten.
Exactly.
Okay.
So because this right hip is gonna get a little higher and open. So then that's how you're gonna get there. Shoulder comes around. Keep that shoulder a little bit down. So then shoulders coming around.
I explained and demonstrated a basic efficient pivot that we could build his swing around. This would be the most pivotal part for consistent centerness of contact.
From here, this arm bends, this one's...
After he was comfortable with the motion and could implement it into his swing, we wrapped up the lesson for the day. The next lesson, I wanted to work on two different drills. The first of which was a pre-shot routine. Without swinging the club, I would have him move from address position to a good impact position and then back to address. Then he could hit his shot.
Position. Come back. Hip forward. Swing.
It was helpful to have him feel a proper impact position to replicate during his swing. Next, I had him hold his finish to make sure that his chest and belt buckle were stacked over his left foot. After working with these two drills, he started to hit significantly better shots. His tendency was to have a very closed club face in the backswing. Because the club face was closed to the path, the ball started left and continued further left. This is something we will address in our next lesson. Now I would like to compare some of his first swings to where he was at after our second lesson. Starting with the setup, ball position obviously a little bit better, the stance a little bit more stable with weight towards that left side more. On the way back he has more of a centered pivot over that right leg versus a slide off of the ball. Coming into impact he has a little bit quieter lower body, which seemed to help with his centeredness of contact. And then at impact he seemed to have more of a downward strike versus the early release and a scoop. Alright, down the line, overall better posture, getting into a more athletic stance. On the way back, takes a club back more on plane. At the top, a much more stable pivot and club is more on plane. Club is in a fantastic position here, a little bit less casted than before. Shoulders much more square at impact. And finally, a balanced finish with a more complete lower body turn. Overall, I was very happy with the improvements that he made and the work that he put into it, starting with very sporadic centers of contact to consistent, more centered contact. As for myself, I think I diagnosed the main problems generally quickly and picked appropriate drills to help him improve the most. I think I could improve on being more clear with instruction and definitely not overloading him with too much information and just picking out the vital things to tell him. This was a great learning experience, and I'm excited to continue working with him and seeing his improvements.